trail I've never made it down before. My Foreman, the Can-Am, made it nowhere pretty much before. If it makes it down this trail and doesn't explode, I won't say anything bad about Can-Am for a week. That being said, it's probably going to get stuck and blow the rear end. Alright, here goes nothing. I'm not gonna lie, I'm impressed. Made it farther than, made it about as far as the Honda ever made it. Well, I'm completely covered in mud. It's stuck, and I don't have a winch. And I got mud in my eye. Didn't have quite enough power. It was struggling there towards the end. Look at my back. Thing completely coated me. Those fenders are useless. With a little more gear or a little more power, it might have made it through it. It really slowed down there at the end and lost momentum. Look how well that front locker works. Front locker my ass. Belt is smoking. You can really smell that burnt belt now. Woo. Test out the stealth snorkels. Time to see if it can still do wheelies. That wasn't even close. did really well in the mud, a lot better than I expected it to. Once I stopped forward motion though and tried to get him spinning again, I wasn't really able to do so. It did better than I thought. It's geared lower than I thought it would be, but the belt did start smoking. But that being said, I never got to a point where I couldn't at least turn them a little bit, but I was torturing the belt. So I'm going to order another Gates Carbon, and hopefully the CV Tech clutch kit will get me enough lower gear to not smoke the belt trying to creep these in thick mud. But it turns them pretty well. Needs about 5 more horsepower to really light them up in the thick stuff. I think I'd have made it through the hole I got stuck in if I had about 5 more horsepower. So we'll see how the clutch kit does, but I see a 700cc big bore kit in its near future. The backs don't rub at all. The fronts rub a little bit. I'm going to do a 1-inch lift on the front, just a really small spring spacer. If that's not enough on the front, I may end up doing a bracket lift, a little custom one, because the front needs to get narrowed up anyways, because right now the front's about 1 inch wider than the back, which I don't like. Unfortunately, with these tires, because they have such a small contact patch, it doesn't really hook up on grass or pavement or dirt anymore. It only gets traction in mud. So, long story short, no more wheelies. It just spins the power away. I'm hoping that once I raise the front up and do the clutch kit, maybe it'll do wheelies again, but you know, they're almost 40 pounds a piece on the front. The Honda wheels are a little heavier because they're not nearly as chintzy as the Can-Am wheels. So the front is pretty much glued to the ground now, unfortunately. That's one thing that's better with the 31s. You have worse tread spacing in the 29.5, but you got a lot more contact with the ground, so you can still put your power down when you're not in the mud. The 29.5 is pretty much a straight mud tire, not nearly as good on trails as the 31. But that's why I still have the Can-Am stock wheels, which I'm probably going to put 27 Zillas on for trails. That would still let me do wheelies and everything. But the diff is making more noise. It didn't blow up, and it didn't break an axle or anything. But it's getting louder, so I'm going to go ahead and order. I don't know, I need to decide if I want to do the XMR swap